Harshal Mathur grew up in Jaipur, Rajasthan, a middle-class family. He went to IIT Roorkee, one of India's top engineering schools, and graduated with a degree in software engineering. Shashank Kumar, same school, same batch, same hunger to build something. After IIT, they both took the smart path, the path their parents wanted, corporate jobs. Harshal went to Schlumberger as a wireline field engineer. Shashank went to Microsoft as a software development engineer. Stable salaries, stable futures, everything figured out. But something gnawed at them. They kept thinking about the payments problem in India, how broken it was, how unfair to small businesses. In 2014, they quit. No safety net, no funding, just an idea and a Y Combinator acceptance letter. They returned to Bengaluru and started Razorpay. The name comes from their belief that payment processing should be razor-sharp, instant, and efficient. Most startups would describe this moment as exciting. For Harshal and Shashank, it was terrifying. They had quit cushy jobs. They had no customers. They had no money. And they had one massive problem standing between them and success. Banks wouldn't trust them. In 2014-2015, India's payment ecosystem was controlled by a handful of old-school payment gateways. They were expensive. They took days to integrate. They demanded high transaction fees. And they were designed for big companies, not startups or SMEs. Harshal and Shashank knew the problem. They had a solution, a developer-friendly payment API that would work in minutes, not weeks. But there was a catch. To process payments, you need banks, and banks don't trust startups with money. They approached nearly 100 banks. Let that sink in. 100 banks. Almost every single one said no. The reasons were always the same. You're too young. You have no track record. You're using new technology. This is risky. We can't do this. This went on for months. Months of hearing no. Months of doubting if the idea was even worth pursuing. Most teams would have quit here. That's the difference between a startup and a unicorn. Not the idea, but what you do after the 50th rejection. After months of persistence, finally, a senior banker at a private bank agreed to meet with them. He believed in the vision. He wanted to help. But then came the bomb. We'll partner with you, he said, but we need a security deposit of 25 lakh rupees. 25 lakh rupees. In today's money, that's roughly $30,000. Not life-changing money for a big company. But for two 23-year-olds with zero revenue, it might as well have been $1 million. Their seed funding was already spoken for. They had maxed out their runway. They were stuck. Here's where it gets human. Shashank walked into his grandfather's house and told him the situation. The bank was willing to partner. The product was ready, but they were 25 lakhs short. His grandfather didn't know much about tech, didn't understand fintech, but he understood his grandson's conviction. He wrote a check for 25 lakh. That 25 lakh security deposit became the key that unlocked everything. The bank partnership went through. Razorpay's first paying customers came on board, and from that moment on, they never looked back. But notice what just happened. The story isn't about a genius tech idea. It's about persistence, family support, and someone betting on conviction. Once Razorpay launched, growth was inevitable. Why? Because they had solved something real. Their product had 3 killer advantages. 1. Developer-first design. Most payment gateways were built for accountants. Razorpay was built for coders. API integration took minutes, not weeks. That's a moat. 2. Transparent pricing. No hidden fees. No call us for quotes. Just 2 to 3% per transaction. In a market full of surprises, honesty was radical. 3. Multi-channel payments. Credit cards, debit cards, UPI, wallets, net banking, all integrated into one API. Developers didn't have to build 10 integrations. They built one. Small businesses that had given up on online payments suddenly had an option. Startups that couldn't afford expensive gateways now had a path forward. Razorpay became the rails that all of Indian fintech rides on. Here is the growth trajectory. 2015, Y Combinator acceptance, first bank partnerships, early paying customers. 2016-2017, explosive growth as India's digital economy expanded. Demonetization and GST made digital payments mandatory. Razorpay was perfectly positioned. 2018, Series B funding from Tiger Global, Sequoia. Valuation crosses $100 million. They become India's first payments unicorn. 2024, valuation reaches $7.5 billion, processing $100 billion per year, 8 million plus businesses on the platform, 30% market share of all internet payments in India. 2025, prepping for IPO in FY27, currently valued at $9.2 billion. In 11 years, they went from 25 lakh security deposit to a $9.2 billion company. But the numbers that matter most? Revenue of 3,783 crore in FY25, with 65% YoY growth. The core payments business is profitable. The overall company is near profitability. They didn't chase valuation game. They built a real profit-generating business. Razorpay makes money from 3 streams. Stream 1, transaction fees. 2 to 3% on every payment. Simple, transparent, scalable. As India's digital economy grows, this revenue grows automatically. Stream 2, Razorpay X, their neobanking and business account platform. Add-on services, invoicing, payroll, vendor payments. Higher margin than pure payments. Stream 3, Razorpay Capital, lending arm. They use transaction data to understand business cash flows, then offer working capital loans. The data layer gives them an advantage traditional banks don't have. The model is, be the infrastructure layer, then build higher margin services on top of that data. That's a platform play. Notice the pattern. Razorpay didn't stay a payments company. They built an ecosystem. Like Ather with charging stations, Razorpay is building banking and lending services on top of their payments foundation. The founder also recently launched RAY, Razorpay Assistant for You, an AI assistant that gives businesses proactive insights and automation. The fintech layer is becoming a full operating system for business operations. That's how you go from 1 billion to 9 billion. You don't just sell one product, you build an ecosystem. So what's the 10-minute MBA lesson from Razorpay? 1. Solve for the builder, not the user. Most fintech companies built for end users. Razorpay built for developers. The developer is the one who chooses the payment gateway. If developers love your product, end users have no choice. This is indirect distribution, and it's powerful. 2. 100 rejections is data, not destiny. Every bank said no, but each no taught them something. What do banks care about? Security, compliance, track record. So they built partnerships with smaller banks first, proved the model, then scaled. Rejections aren't failures, they're market research. 3. Infrastructure beats products. Products have competitors. Infrastructure has moats. Razorpay didn't build a payments product. They built the payments layer that everything else depends on. Try removing Razorpay from Indian fintech. You can't. That's a moat. 4. Family matters when VCs don't. That 25 lakh from Shashak's grandfather saved the company. In startup mythology, we celebrate VCs and accelerators. But sometimes, it's just family that believes in you when nobody else does. That's a lesson tech Twitter won't teach you. 5. Transparency is a competitive advantage. In a market full of hidden fees and confusing pricing, being honest about costs was radical. They charged 2 to 3%, published it, and never changed it. In business, boring often wins. Razorpay's IPO is coming in FY27. When it does, watch the investor notes carefully. They won't value Razorpay as a payments company, as an operating system for Indian business. Next time you face rejection, whether it's from an investor, a customer, or a bank, remember, Harshal and Shashank got rejected 100 times, and their grandfather's check became the turning point. Sometimes the answer you need doesn't come from Silicon Valley. It comes from family, persistence, and believing when nobody else does. That's your MBA for today. If you found this useful, like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's building something. Next week, we're breaking down another unicorn.